Hello, everyone. This is Loretta Cernowski from Remax Legacy. Welcome to another episode of Living in Rocky Point. And today we have a special guest. We're touching on a subject that is near and dear to everyone's heart, and that's taking care of your furry friends. And if there's any new things coming on the horizon for people that do have pets and information about crossing the border, welcome Dr. Adrian Sixto.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm good. So are you a Rocky Point native? Where are you from?
No, I am from Mexico City, actually.
Oh, wow. How long have you been here and what made you come to Penasco?
I have been here for 11 years. 11 years. I supposed to be here only for 3 months, and now 11 years after.
So what happened? How did you make your way here?
Actually, I came just to work. I had an offer for me to work in a place in a vet office. So I'm supposed to come just for a few months for me to be sure if I'm going to stay here for a little longer. But during these years, I opened my own place, and now I have 6 years with my office.
Oh, that's great. Well, I know you have a very, very good following. Many of my friends and clients, you are their vets. So that's...
Yeah, thank you.
What have you seen in the past, say, 6 years in the pet population? You know, and you and I talked before the show about Americans bringing their pets here. Has the pet things been changed in the past 6 years? Is there more regulations, and is there less street dogs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, here in Mexico, we have advanced a lot in these laws, trying to keep the health of the animals in general, and especially pets. You know, more regulations, more laws that they benefit more the pets in general. This a very good thing. In the past years, we have advanced a lot in that. In comparison with other countries like the States, for example, they are very, very advanced with these things. But here in Mexico, just recently, we have a lot of things related with these laws, and they are very good. But also the people in general, they are changing. You know, the behavior with the pets, the pet care in general is a little better. And the other thing, the street dogs, we have a lot here in town. And we have done some efforts trying to help with that situation, but it's not enough. We need probably some of the government participation in this case. But in general, the pet owners, they are very good with them. You know, their mind is changing in good, you know, for the pet health.
Yeah, of course. So you and I talked a little bit before, and I know this is an issue that people are asking about if it is relevant to Penasco, and that is the screwworm. Screwworm?
Exactly, screwworm.
They're asking at the border, and is it a vaccine or what is it exactly?
Yeah, the screwworm is a larva from a fly, a specific type of fly. This type of worm is more common in cattle, the cows, and why not? And is more common in center of America. Actually, Mexico was free of screwworm for several years, since 90s, I believe. But recently we have some episodes of these problems in cows, especially. But we know that those type of cattle comes from that area of the south of Mexico to the north of Mexico. So it is very important for people who are bringing dogs, especially from Mexico to the US, for them to cross the border with a certificate of health, including these letters or this information about the screwworm. There's no vaccination or a specific type of medication to prevent the screwworm, because it depends on the presence of the fly. So if the fly can have some access to some goods of the cattle, or it can be also in dogs or cats, and also in people. That is why it is very important, and actually it works like screwing the skin and the muscles, and it can affect some internal organs or something like that. That is why it is very, very important. So we have to check the patient. We have to be very sure that they are not having any wounds, and they are not having infected wounds. Or in case that they have the larva, we have to check if we have to send that larva to a specific type of lab here in Mexico to identify if it is related with screwworm or if it is from some other type of fly.
Are they asking for this at the Lukeville border?
Yep. Yeah, in all the border. Yes. Yeah, because we have some cases in the south of Mexico, and just recently a couple cases in the center of Mexico. So it seems to be advancing. That is why it's becoming more important every time.
Oh, I understand. So let's say I take my dog in and the test comes back positive. But how often do I have to update that certificate?
The indications are that we have to do the certificate, and it is valid only for 5 days.
5 days?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so
Yes.
that's a lot. So every time you cross the border, you pretty much have to go get that test done?
Yeah, we have some clients that they come every month or every 2 months, and every time they go back to the States, we have to check the patient again just to be sure.
How long does it take the test? And if you have to send it away, let's say I'm going to Phoenix tomorrow, then can I get my dogs get tested in a day and get a certificate in a day?
Yeah, actually, it's just a normal checkup. We identify if the patient has a wound, or there's a couple cases that they started with infection in the ears, and the flies put the larvae inside. So we have to be sure only with a normal checkup. If they have wounds, we have to check if they have the larva. If the larva is obtained in this test, we can send it to the lab for them to identify the species of the fly.
What kind of symptoms would the dog be showing if you were to be concerned? Nothing with crossing the border, but were they healthy, or what? How can you tell?
First of all, the wound, even if it is a small wound or a big wound, first of all, the larva goes in that area due to the fly. And then they start to have a lot of discomfort in the area because it produces a lot of irritation and secondary infection to that, So they have the wound, probably bleeding, probably some abscess, and the discomfort. They try to scratch the area, or depending on where the wound is, they try to bite the area also.
And what is the treatment?
So in this case, just like some other treatment for flies, we have to give some shots of medication and probably oral medication, depending. So if there's some secondary infection, we have to use some antibiotics. Sometimes we have to also perform a culture of bacteria to be sure about what type of antibiotic we have to use. But there are some medications specifically for the larvae of the fly.
Now, you said something that was a bit unsettling to me, because you said people can get it too.
Yeah, it's not common. It's not common. Fortunately, it's not common in people, but people can be affected too.
And is it the same thing? You would see it on your skin?
Yeah, exactly the same thing. Starting with a wound, if it is not treated or it gets infected, the fly can go there. Now, just like I mentioned, it's not common in this geographic area, but the fly can be anywhere. So if there are some cattle that come from the south and comes here to the north, and they have some flies, the fly can go to anywhere. It can affect dogs, cats, or people.
Wow, oh, that's good to know. So that's the latest thing. Now, if I have someone that is moving from the States to Rocky Point, or they're just bringing in their dogs for the weekend, what type of vaccines should they be getting in the States? And if they're coming from Rocky Point to the States, what kind of vaccines? Is it different or are they all the same?
They're almost the same. This geographic area have almost the same microorganisms that can affect dogs and cats. The most important one is rabies, because just like we know, rabies can be transmitted to people also. So it's very important for rabies, especially, for example, here in town or Phoenix or some other areas like California or somewhere else, that we still have some feral animals like coyotes, probably fox, probably raccoons, that they can also transmit rabies. So that's the most important one. The most important vaccine that we have to check. They check at the border and when they come to a regular visit at the vet. But we always recommend the others, distemper, parvo, hepatitis, parainfluenza, leptospirosis. Those are some microorganisms that they are in the environment. Obviously, they can be transmitted in the environment that they are, even if it's like very clean place. For example, the distemper and parvo, they are viruses that can go in the wind, for example, and there are some bacteria that they are in the sand for a period of time. That is better if we prevent that. It's better always. Also, we always recommend the kennel cough shot, Bordella, because many people believe that it's only related with boarding or kennels. But it's an illness that starts with a couple of virus and then they can become in a secondary infection of this bacteria, which is Bordella. And here comes many dogs from many places from the world. I have seen dogs and cats from Spain, from Portugal, from Iraq, many from the States, from Canada. So we have a lot of pets here that obviously that contact can be a little danger for some dogs if they are ill.
Yeah, makes sense. And there's no, if you're moving here, your pets don't have to be in quarantine or anything, correct?
No, that is a very good thing, because just like I mentioned, the vaccines are very similar in this geographic area. So we only have to check that. Only in case that they come from another place, or if they're going to travel for probably Central America or Africa or something, we can check for another type of vaccine. But the most common thing here in town is that the same vaccines are valid here.
Okay. If you're flying somewhere with your dog, is there any different vaccines, or are they all the same too?
Almost the same. The most important is rabies, and also they are checking for external worms or external parasites like ticks and fleas. Those are very, very important. So there are a lot of products for us to avoid the ticks and fleas, especially. And because here in town is a very common thing, ticks and fleas, especially during the spring, during the summer, they are very common.
What's the best kind of treatment for ticks and fleas?
That's a very good question because I believe there's no best medication. We have to be sure how we use the treatment. To prevent ticks and fleas, in the actual days, we have tablets, we have collars, we have pipettes, we have many. Now, for example, the tablets are very, very good. But the tablet, for example, when we give the tablet to the dog, the absorption of the medication is in the liver and then goes to the fat under the skin. If the fly or the tick goes and bites, they die because they absorb the medication, but they can actually bite the patient. If we use the collar or if we use the pipettes, the little drops that you put in the back, it's a little better to prevent that because they get absorbed in the fat on the skin. Now, if we read the instructions of that, they mention that we have to give a bath first to the cat or the dog, especially because they do not sweat. they produce a different type of fat on the skin. So the absorption is better if we give a bath, and 8 hours after we can put the collar or the pipette. So the absorption is much better.
And is there a place in Rocky Point that we can buy collars, or can they buy them from you?
Yeah. Almost all the offices here in town, we have these products because it's a very common illness. Even ticks or fleas, either one.
Okay. Have them give a bath and then the next day do the tick treatment. How long does that treatment last?
There are some products that they are good for 1 month, 3 months, or for example, there are some collars that they are good for 8 months.
Okay.
What I know is that also in the States, they have medication. It's like a shot that is good for a year. We don't have that yet here in Mexico, but probably soon we will have it.
Okay. Good to know. And is it true that you're only allowed to take 3 dogs across the border? 3 pets?
Yeah. If we read all the instructions that they are putting for us to cross the border, 3 is, the quantity that we can cross the most. I have here a lot of, stories about that sometimes they are not asking for anything and they come with 6 or 7. It depends on the person at the border, I believe. But according with all the information for us to cross is 3 is the top.
Okay. Can you tell everyone where your office is located and what hours that you work?
Yeah, we are here on Boulevard Fremont, almost in the corner with Sinaloa Street. We are pretty close to El Mirador, this beautiful beach here in town, on Boulevard Fremont, and the number is 166. We are here from Monday to Friday. We open at 9 a.m. and we close at 6. And on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And do you have a 24-hour emergency line?
We have an emergency line, yeah. And they can contact us by phone, by WhatsApp, Messenger. And we have also the Facebook and Instagram.
And did you always want to be a vet?
I believe I do. Because, my family, from my mother, my grandparents, they live in a state that is called Hidalgo, and they have like a big place, and they always had cows, they always had dogs, they always had horses, and many, So I was very happy when I were with them, at the ranch, and I always like to be in between animals. So when I was in the elementary school, I was very interested in all the biological areas, but this contact with animals probably was the one that I figured that I wanted to be a vet.
And maybe you know the answer to this question, or maybe you don't, but is it true that in Mexico, like say in a condo, all owners, if you own a place, you can have a dog no matter what? That you can't, HOAs can't say no dogs.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard that very well, but
like I know renters, so that it depends. But I heard somewhere that if you own the condo, then you can have dogs.
I believe it's on each regulation of this place, because we have a lot of clients that they come from condos or from others.
Right.
What I hear one time is that if you own the condo, you can have your pets there. If you rent, it's different. Yes.
Yeah. Although Casablanca, for those of you that want to come for the weekend, Casablanca does allow pets. It's very dog friendly, and as well as Tesoro does too, if you rent. But the best thing to do is buy a condo, and then you don't have any rules like that.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming to the show. Your information was great, answered a lot of questions for me, And I hope you have a successful rest of your day.
Excuse me, I lost the connection a little bit. I didn't hear that.
Wait, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything. Thanks for being on the show, giving us all that information, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, buy a condo here. Remax is one of the best. I have here very, very good things about Remax, and you are always welcome here to Rocky Point.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.